I'm afraid I have some bad news, sir.
What is this bad news?
After much deliberation and consideration with my
Oh
friends and
God.
family,
Oh God.
I have decided to opt out of my NFL contract due to COVID 19.
Wow.
Woo! It's the boy, Bubba, Lutz coming through. Hella clutch, flawless, can't be touched. It's your boy, Bubba, Lutz. Yeah, I need that hot take. I need the truth and everything that is not fake. So tell me.
Welcome back, Bubble Bunch, to another episode of the Bubble Let Sports podcast, another YouTube video. This is episode 150. We have
150.
reached another milestone.
I like that. Let's get it.
150 episodes, closing in on a year on Spotify, on iTunes, and then we're like 7-8 months into YouTube, which is
Wow.
pretty good. Pretty good, I would say.
That's pretty damn good.
For 83 subscribers, going toward 100, we're on the right
Yeah.
track. The uploads aren't as high as they used to be, but I think more is to come with the NBA coming back. MLB came back for like 2 days, and the Marlins said "fuck you." So I think it's just
well,
NBA
this
for right
way.
now. So
Yeah, and then we got the NFL in a good month now, so
yeah, that's apparently gonna happen. And
we'll see what happens. But
hey, if I opt out of my contract, I hope a lot of people do too.
the list is growing. The list is growing.
Today, we're continuing another idea that we had from a couple weeks ago where we did a full draft on non-playoff teams, picked
Yes.
players from those rosters, and made a dream team, essentially, based on a draft. And today, we're going to be doing very similar things, just with a different twist. We're going to be doing rookies from the NFL 2020 draft, so the very
Yes.
recent draft. And we're going to do the same things, go back and forth. Do you have a coin, sir?
Siri does.
There you go.
I was the chooser the first time. Now it's your turn. What do you select?
Tails never fails, baby.
All right. Hey Siri, flip a coin.
It's tails.
Oh,
never
it's
fails, baby.
tails. All right. So once again, Lutz goes first. Are you keeping your same head coach, sir?
Sure. No,
All right.
no.
No?
Wait, who did I pick last
No.
time?
You
Cliff?
picked, Cliff Kingsbury.
Nah, man. I think I want to go more defensive this time.
Oh, do you now?
'Cause if I
Okay.
can build my defense, I think
Okay.
I'm very defensive heavy, probably early on in this draft.
Okay. All right.
Except for like maybe one exception. You know, I almost picked him last time. I'll pick Bruce Arians.
Okay.
Bruce Arians. I feel like he's a very well balanced coach. He's a QB like mastermind, but he does really great things on defense. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Then in that case, I'm switching my coach as well, and I'm going with the man that I was originally going to pick last time, Mike Tomlin.
there you go.
I'm
I
gonna go
like
with
that.
Tomlin.
I like
Mike
that.
Tomlin.
Very
I have
nice.
to.
Very
My
nice.
boy. So, sir, you are on the clock.
How much time do I have?
You have exactly 15 seconds.
Oh shit.
So, just
You
kidding.
know
I'm just
what?
kidding.
I said this on the last podcast when we did this, and I
Yeah.
was very close to picking this guy as my rookie pick on offense.
Okay.
But I was like, I wanted to spend my rookie pick on someone else. But in this case, since it all is rookies,
It is.
with the number one overall pick, I wanna make sure my O line starts off on a good note.
Oh, so we're going O-line on
I'm
this
going
one.
O line.
All right.
It's gonna be difficult
Okay.
this draft because there's not a lot to
It
choose
is.
from.
It really
And
is.
unless you're a fucking Mel Kiper, you're not going to know the guy from the 7th round.
Yeah,
so-
you're really not.
With the first overall pick Alabama, excuse me,
Oh,
I'm picking Jedrick Wills
that's a solid pick.
as my left tackle.
I mean, I don't think you could have started off any better. I mean, one of literally top 3 offensive linemen in the draft this year. I mean,
We're going to keep it short for the explanations, but I
Yeah.
will just say straight up. Next to Andrew Thomas out of Georgia, he was the
Yeah.
next best guy in the draft. But to me, he is the most pro-ready lineman, and to me, he has the most upside out of any lineman in the pro-ready mindset for a lineman. So I'm going with Jedrick Wills, Alabama, and they breed him well there. So
Yeah, that's fair point. Fair point. So, all right. So Jedrick Wills first pick, second pick, my first pick. I'm going defense.
okay.
I'm going defense, and I think you could somewhat assume who I'm going to pick first.
I kind of knew you were gonna do this, so I had a really good backup
mean,
in mind. But you did it. You did it
listen.
the last time too.
Yeah. So listen, first pick with Mike Tomlin's team, Chase Young.
Oh shit.
Chase
Okay, I didn't
Young.
expect that one. Okay.
No. So I was gonna pick him. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but Chase Young is just something else, man. He is a freak of an athlete. I think if anything, he's probably among the list, like you said with Jedrick Wills, that he's one of the most like pro-ready athletes on the board in general, like athleticism wise. So, yeah, Chase Young, I had to.
Better than the Bosa brothers for sure.
I could say there's an argument for that. Yes.
I genuinely think he's just a well-rounded more athlete than the
Oh, the
Bosa
world's
brothers.
class athlete, to be honest with you.
Yes. The only concern I have with him is in the big time games, he didn't really perform well. So I don't know how it'll transfer over to the NFL, but it's worth a shot with a guy like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So since you didn't go for this guy,
You got to. I understand.
I got to.
I
So
understand.
with the third overall pick, I'm going to go defense, linebacker, out of Clemson, Isaiah Simmons.
I don't think we even have to have an explanation for him. We already did it the last time when I picked him.
It's kind of
he's
similar to how it is for Chase Young, just a freak athlete.
he's a freak athlete.
It's a
he's
Swiss
gonna-
Army knife, and he's gonna. I mean, no matter where you put him on the field, like he can rush the quarterback, he can do well in coverage because of his length, and
Yeah.
he's just great defensive leader, man. Like he can lead a defense, and he will.
He's gonna be so good at Arizona just because he is the Swiss Army knife, like you said, and also like he's one of those rookies that can take command of a locker room right away. So I agree, such a good pick. Fair enough. However,
Don't start this again. It doesn't matter.
oh no, I won't. But I am going back to offense on this one, and then I think I am going to have to select the guy that you said was the second best. Second pick, Andrew Thomas. I mean, tackle from what was it, Wisconsin
Georgia.
or Georgia? Just right, Georgia. Yeah, he is. I think him and Jedrick Wills are like the two top linemen in the draft. Teams always wanted them. He's pro ready. I mean, what else can you say? The man's a beast.
He really is. I mean, talk about another pro-ready lineman, and he played in the SEC. So
Tough
he
competition,
He had to deal with some big boys on that defensive
Yeah,
line, and
really did.
And Georgia's well known for having just a great offensive line throughout the years. They
Yeah.
know how to pick them. So very very nice for your first.
Also, if you look at his film, he just manhandles players. He makes it look so easy.
he has great footwork. He has great
Yeah.
anchoring for an edge lineman, and yeah, Jedrick Wills alongside with him are top two for sure. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna stick with
I'm all-
defense.
I'm also writing down my team, so I'm not ignoring you.
Yeah, I'm looking down at him. So if you're watching the YouTube, don't think I'm just staring at my crotch. But I'm gonna stick with defense because I think
Okay.
this guy, he's not gonna be on the board for long.
Okay.
And to go with Isaiah Simmons, he can work in the secondary, but this man's gonna take care of that secondary real quick.
Okay.
Picked him last time. I'm not gonna go against it.
Oh,
Buckeyes
yes.
are coming off the
Yes.
board real
You have to.
quick, Kevin.
You have to.
Cornerback out of the Ohio State University, Jeff Okuda.
I mean, hands down the best cornerback in this draft. I wouldn't say there is a very large gap between number one and number two, but I do have to agree that there is a pretty sizable distance between the two. Like, he's so good. He, like I said in the last one, he reminds me of Marshawn Lattimore. His coverage is phenomenal. His mindset across the field is phenomenal. It's good. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gonna do great things. And also with Matt Patricia,
It's a
It-
defensive-minded team, and
it's a good combo.
It really is because now he's got to replace Darius Slay. But if there's a
Yeah.
guy that can do that, I think it's Jeff Okuda. He reminds me a lot of Byron Jones. That's why I had
Yep.
them together in the last draft.
Mhm.
But that man is more of a turnover machine than Byron Jones will be, but still lockdown defender, great agility, great footwork and versatility, and his length is going to be perfect for that position in the big time. So Jeff Okuda, welcome to the team.
All right. Well, since you took the first one,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I had to take the second one.
Mm-hmm.
With the third pick for Mike Tomlin's team, CJ Henderson.
Yep.
Come on down. Come on down.
Speed.
Dude, he's so
Speed.
fast. He's so fast.
Oh man.
Would you say he was probably one of the fastest defensive players, 40 wise in
He
this
had to be,
draft?
right?
I think he was. I think he recorded like a 4.3 or something like that.
Jesus Christ, man! Even
He's
with pads on during the
insane.
game, you see the speed immediately.
He's insane. There's nothing. There's a lot of good things that you can talk about when it comes to CJ Henderson, but I think for sure the number one thing is his speed. So,
For sure.
yeah, CJ Henderson, thank you. Please come on down.
Man, where should I go with this? I think I gotta lock down this guy first.
Okay, go for it.
You know, I went with Alabama in my wide receiver core last time.
Oh,
Nothing's
okay.
gonna change here. ladies
I
and
don't blame
gentlemen.
you. I don't blame you.
He's my overall great wide receiver that can do it all. So
Mhm.
he's gonna be my violence in
Yes.
my wide receiver core.
Mhm.
Wide receiver out of Alabama, Jerry Judy. Come on down.
So I think this was the guy that me and you had like a back and forth discussion on of like who is he better than, him or CD. I chose CD personally just because I think, to be honest with you, I saw more of CD than Jerry, so I don't really have a good opinion on Jerry. So I think that could be a good explanation why I have that opinion. But I can't sit here and not say that he is fantastic. He's so good. Denver is looking so scary, and I'm just imagining Cortland on one side and then Jerry on the other.
And then you got KJ in the
Jesus.
slot.
Oh,
Ooh, you can
Lord.
move him
Oh,
around
Lord.
anywhere.
Hey man, I said it. Denver's my sleeper team this year for the
sure.
AFC.
I
So,
believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
But I think he has a more overall great play set than CD does. I think CD's a good complementary wide receiver. He could probably play a number one on some teams, but not every team. I think Jerry can fit into a lot more offenses as the number one guy. And if you complement him, then he's only going to get better. So that's where I kind of decided like Jerry over CD. I still think CD's a great wide receiver. And where he's going, where both of these guys are going, are such great positions and cities for them.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm just taking the player, I'm taking Jerry right now.
I think the one thing that I will say that Jerry does have a small upper hand on CD is that CD is more he's very quick, he's very speedy, but Jerry, he reminds me of like a miniature Julio Jones where he'll go up for the ball no matter what, and he will try and rip it out of your hands no matter what happens. So yeah, I agree. I agree with that one. All right, so the next pick for Mike Tomlin's team. So I agree with you that it is starting to get a little bit harder, even though it is just like the fourth pick or something like that for us.
Yeah, I'm throwing in my mind what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
next.
but I think I made up my mind when I was making this list, and this one was kind of hard because we both fell in love with the secondary, I guess what you'll call it for now until I
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
For the fourth pick, I'm bringing in some speed. I'm bringing in consistency. And all I'll say is DeAndre Swift. Swift? My
Swift.
Lord. I'm so sorry for butchering your name. DeAndre Swift.
Oof.
Come on board. Come
Man.
on board.
You meant the backfield. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, okay. So now let me explain what I was saying. So the secondary choice that I was going to say was our boy, J.K. Dobbins.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you meant like the secondary.
Yeah. No, like our
corners and
secondary.
safety.
No, our secondary choice.
Got
And
you.
I struggled with this one because I love J.K. Dobbins. I thought he should have gone way earlier in the draft, but there's something about DeAndre that just, dude, he's lightning. He's so quick. He reminds me of a little bit like Christian McCaffrey, like
Mhm.
everything he does so quick. And what I like about him as well is that he's also a little bit of a receiving running back. So he's kind of
Yeah.
a dual threat.
Mhm.
So So yeah, DeAndre Swift, I had to take him.
Man, his ability to break tackles, his ability to block, and just awareness on the field is fantastic.
It's insane. It's so good.
Yeah, you talk about Georgia too, like great offensive linemen, but also great running backs throughout the years. I mean, you're talking
Yeah.
about Nick Chubb, Todd Gurley, and you can add DeAndre Swift to that list for sure.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
I love that pick. He was going to be my secondary guy
Yeah.
for sure. So then, let's see here. I think just because I got a little scared that you were going this route,
I know you're gonna pick now.
I have the options on the table. Now I'm just deciding whether or not should I go with the secondary or the first pick that I had on my list.
Okay.
I feel like if I want to go like banger physical defense, I want to go with this guy. But if I want more complacency in some way, more of a safety pick, I go with this guy.
Okay. All right.
But I think I'm going to take the chance.
Okay.
And with the next pick for my team, alongside Bruce Arians, strong safety
Mm-hmm.
is what he's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, Antoine Winfield Jr.
So I knew for a fact you were gonna pick either him or Grant Delpit. So, but I mean, I think he was more on your radar when you were doing that draft live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Because we both knew that Grant Delpit was probably not gonna make it to what was it, 51 with the Cowboys.
Yeah, there's too many teams in front that needed a safety.
Yeah, but so I think he was more your guy for the Cowboys there, but he got drafted by the Giants, I think, right?
He got drafted by the Browns. Grant
No.
Delpit did.
Yeah, Grant Delpit did. I mean Antoine Winfield.
Antoine Winfield got drafted by the
I
Bucks.
think it was the Giants, wasn't it?
No, the Giants got Xavier McKinney.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm
Yes.
looking it
Okay.
up really quick.
Okay. Well, either way, I agree with that pick. It's a really good pick. Your explanation is pretty spot on. I have to say.
So he did get drafted by the Bucks, just to clarify.
Okay, okay.
And to me, he's a little smaller for a strong safety, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make him the hard hitter of the team. And if you give him the free range like he did in Minnesota, he makes a lot of great plays and he has great awareness around the field, but his size can make up for the length that he lacks. And if I have more length in that secondary with Jeff Okuda, then I can kind of make up for that in Antoine Winfield. I want a strong hitter. I want a physical presence in the backfield of that defense, and I think Antoine does that the best out of any safety.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So, I took. Let's see if I remember correctly. No, I'm gonna go back to defense. Okay. So this guy is one guy that we talked about as a potential suitor for the Cowboys before the whole CD Lamb situation happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we both love this guy, and I think this was gonna sting you a little bit, to be honest. So I got Chase Young, I got my freak up in the line. I got CJ Henderson, my cornerback. Now I have to put someone in the middle, and we both like this guy a lot. Next pick for Mike Tomlin's team, K'Lavon Chaisson.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually passed on K'Lavon Chaisson.
You did, and I didn't think you were, to be honest, because we were both very high on him when you were doing your NFL draft. After Isaiah Simmons and obviously like other picks like somebody else that I'm not going to name because I don't want you to pick him, hopefully.
Okay.
But he was kind of like the third option, but he was still he was still an all like safe option. So I liked him. I think he's going to do good in Jacksonville just because Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's a great fit for him. That is definitely great fit for him.
It's a great fit for him just because, even though they have dipped a little bit down in the past couple of years, but they still have that defensive minded coach and system over there. So I think he's going to do good there. K'Lavon.
I'm not as high on K'Lavon as some people were, especially because the norm was to pick him at 17 for the Cowboys, and so I did a lot of research on him.
Yeah.
His size, his build is perfect for that position.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, to me, there's still a lot of stuff that he needs to work on in order to get right. And I don't think that he was the big presence that the LSU thought he was. I think there's a lot of other players on that team that did a lot of the work other than Chason. I think it'll take a couple years, but that's why Jacksonville has a great player, because they probably can kind of shorten up that time to where he needs to improve. Like, they'll get him ready sooner rather than later.
But also you could just straight up see the potential in him. Like
Yes.
he has like an exorbitant amount of potential with what he already showed at LSU, and I think Jacksonville could be a great place for him to learn and like flourish.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For sure. I mean, I haven't done anything on that defensive line, so maybe
Oh,
I think it's time.
okay,
I'm gonna start on the edge,
okay.
and I love this guy very much because
And
God
damn it.
I passed on Chase Young
Mhm.
for a reason, but when you look at the draft, like past Chase Young, it is harder to get an edge.
It is very
rusher.
hard. Mhm.
Those defensive ends kind of dwindle down toward the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
But I was watching this guy, love the name by the way, but I also love this film. So I actually, for both my edge rushers, I think I'm actually gonna think the same way. Like, their film is actually really good compared to the hype that they got for the draft. But
Yeah.
for my first defensive end, I'm taking the guy out of Penn State, Yetur Gross-Matos.
So he was the one that I just said that I didn't want to say the name, but obviously you already had him in mind. He's really good.
I
He's
love him.
So good. He's good. He's explosive. He's quick. But he still has that physicality where he can just manhandle an offensive line. So
He's great. Like,
yeah, he's great. He's great.
strong.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Well, I have to go back to offense because DeAndre Swift needs some big boys in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He needs some big boys, and this is the position that I was talking about. That it was really, really hard to find someone. So for the sake of just the safety, I'm picking Cesar Ruiz, center from Notre Dame.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, it's funny because I remember when I was looking at the positions again, he was like the best center. And after that, it was a huge drop off.
It
So
was tough because the next one
yeah.
up to me was like Mike Hennessy,
Matt Hennessy. Yes.
or
Mhm.
Matt Hennessy, sorry.
Yeah.
And from that point on, man, it was tough for centers
Yeah.
in this draft.
Yeah. So I think I had to go with it. I know it's a little premature in general if you want to talk about a general draft and all that, but because of the lack of center positions in this draft, I had to go with the safe pick.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about the guard position.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I'll head toward this now in this pick, just because there's not a lot of safety, there's not a lot of confidence in that guard position other than
There's not.
a simple few, and
Yeah.
one of them because he's from a college that is known for having great offensive lines. They were the best offensive line as far as experience and protection last year in college football. I said it during like the streams and then the post draft analysis.
Yeah.
Left guard out of Oregon, Shane Lemieux out of Oregon is
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
the most safe bet for a guard, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be my left guard.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both agreed on that. I think we talked about exactly that after the draft, because the guard position is just so hard right now, dude. It's really, really hard. So yeah, I don't blame you. I don't.
And not a lot at the top too. Like those first few rounds, there's just not a lot to choose from.
Yeah,
More on the outside of the linemen, there's a lot to choose from, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of ways you can go about it. But the inside, that's where it's a lot tougher.
yeah. So fair enough. So now, I'm gonna have to stick with the guard position as well, just because of the exact conversation we just had. So I'm gonna go with another O line, and I'm going with out of the University of Louisiana, Robert Hunt. Yeah, I think him and Damian Lewis were like in the middle of the two best mid tier of guards when it comes to mid tier, but also mid tier kind of does mean the best in this draft because it is already a little hard to pick from them. So yeah, I think Robert Hunt's a good safe pick for me.
Oh, for sure. He's one of the only guards that really went high in that draft. It's kind of hard because Louisiana doesn't get a lot of attention.
Prospects. Yeah.
And a lot of prospects too, but you just don't get a lot of film on them. I think I saw him. I want to remember if he played in the Senior Bowl. I think that's where I've seen him most. I could be wrong on that. Could be thinking of someone else, but I feel like that's the only time I've seen him play.
Yeah.
Didn't see a lot of film on him, but looking at his stats, because someone was doing a video on him, they were saying that he only got better as the years went on, and his protection percentage, like not allowing a sack and all that, was one of the highest in the country. And that's all you want, right? Like, no matter who you're facing, like, as long as it's consistently getting better every year, then you're gonna be fine. He may not be a first day ready guy, but you'll definitely have someone in the next 2 or 3 years that you're gonna be like, okay, we can count on him to protect the inside.
I think he's a very safe option to mold because he just like I said, like he already has a lot of potential in him, and he's a safe prospect to pick. So yeah, I agree. I agree with that completely.
Damn it.
It's starting to get rough, huh?
Starting to get a little rough because there's some names that I'm like, okay, you're definitely not going to go that route.
Yeah.
But let me think. I got him. I might go the defensive line again.
Okay.
And you know what? I think you're going to pick him next, so that's why I'm going to pick him.
Okay.
I didn't know a lot about this guy before the draft.
Okay.
But watching his film, it was some of the most electric film that I've ever seen in my lifetime. He's in a different gear when I watch him play. And coming from a college that's not known for defense, coming from a conference that's known for defense in the Big 12, I would usually pass on him. But watching him on film and knowing the type of player he is, just gritty, down to like the last whistle. He will give you everything he's got, even though he's a big boy.
Okay.
So I need a run stuffer for my 4-3. And the Dallas Cowboys picked a really good one.
Yes, they did.
Midway through the draft.
Yes, they did.
So out of Oklahoma, defensive tackle, Neville Gallimore.
We had a long conversation about Neville Gallimore. I think it was right after the draft, and how he was kind of the steal of the third round, and a lot of people didn't, they couldn't believe he was still there, So, yeah, that's a good pick. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, he was on my radar. He was
so light on his feet for being such a heavy set guy, and his handwork is tremendous. His way to evade, offensive linemen and tacklers is great as well.
Yeah.
He can be just a firecracker for any defense. And what I have in store for the next guy next to him, it's going to be fun for you to run through my defense.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But in that case, then that means I have to beef up my line. And, I'm going to go with I think they were very, very closely drafted, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. But I guess that means I got to get another tackle. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Next pick for Mike Tomlin's team, Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah,
Tristan Wirfs. He, him and Jedrick Wills almost had the same scouting report because they're both very similar in how they play. Tristan Wirfs, you could be considered maybe the second, one of the top 3 offensive linemen coming into this draft because there wasn't really a lot in general. But yeah, Tristan Wirfs, come on down.
He was, to me, the second best offensive lineman on the board. I thought it was Jedrick, Tristan, and then it was Andrew Thomas. But with that said,
you're gonna beef up that D line.
No.
Oh no. Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
I think I can get away with one pick before I go back.
Okay.
But since you already finished up your tackles, so I'm good on that guy. I think the only thing I have to worry about. Do you still need a guard?
Yeah, I need one more.
So then I'm gonna make sure that you don't get the one guy that I wanted.
Oh my, how rude of you.
Right guard, out of Auburn, Jack Driscoll. Safe pick for me.
Yeah.
out of a really kind of bland guard draft class. But
Yeah.
him and Shane Lemieux are experienced. They
Yeah.
know what they're doing. You don't need a lot of tune-up with them. They're ready to go, and
Mhm.
they can plug into any offense. They'll be fine. They may not be the greatest, but I don't think you can say that about a lot of guards in this draft.
Yeah, it's very true. I think that I think it was gonna have to be one of those picks where you just either go with him or you kind of go down to like that bottom tier from like third, fourth round. So yeah, I agree. Well, I've gone offensive line the past couple rounds, so now I have to go on the back to the defense. I have to put someone in that middle because I haven't yet, and I think you're gonna like this pick because I wouldn't say he slipped, but he definitely, in my opinion, deserves a little more attention. I'm going defensive tackle for the next pick on Mike Tomlin's team, Javon Kinlaw
Yeah, okay.
from South Carolina. That man is, I think I could say it too, man. He's a freak of nature. If you see his highlights, he's so talented. He's so explosive. Oh, he's good. He's really, really
he's
good.
great
I
on
like
film,
him.
and where he's going to,
Yeah,
going
he's
to San
really
Francisco.
good.
like that is a scary thought for an already great front seven in San Francisco.
San Francisco basically said, "Oh, we lost to Forrest Buckner. All right, Javon, come on in." You
Come
know,
on in, man.
yeah, something,
fine.
something so simple, something so fast. So yeah, I think that was a pretty obvious pick with my first defensive tackle.
I can't believe this guy's still on the board.
Really?
I can't believe I really can't believe it. So I think I know
Okay.
where you're going with it.
Okay.
But I mean, I love this guy. I think this man is one of the best athletes to come out of that draft, and
Okay.
he fell tremendously in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly gave him a chance to be drafted by the Cowboys at 17,
Mm-hmm.
just because of his length, just because
Yeah.
it's definitely a spot that they needed on the roster.
Yeah.
But Cleveland got a great player,
Yes,
and
they
now
did.
I'm going to have him because
Yes,
my
they did.
free safety, he's going to be all around the field along with Isaiah Simmons and Antoine Winfield Jr. Grant Delpit
Mm-hmm. Yes,
is
sir.
finally on a team of my choosing. Finally.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I had Grant Delpit too, but it's because that offensive line part of the draft was so hard that I had to attack it first.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, but
Well,
Grant
you
Delpit.
haven't done much in the secondary, right?
No, I have not.
Ooh,
But that's gonna change.
that's a mistake.
That's gonna change. All right. But yeah, no. Grant Delpit's a hell of a player.
Jesus, man.
He's
you
so
can never
good.
go wrong with LSU like safeties or corners.
Yeah.
Can
yeah.
never go wrong with that.
Yeah, but in that case, I think I have to go with his counterpart, the number 2 when it came to safety position in this draft,
Yep.
Xavier McKinney.
Steal.
Steele, you gotta come on. I think you were the one that was, you were obviously the one that was telling me that Xavier McKinney fell way too low. He was a steal in this draft. The Giants just, it's a little scary to think about when we play them twice a year now.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I honestly thought that the Giants got the steal of the second round for sure, along with J.K. Dobbins. But
Oh God, we both agreed on that though right away.
But Xavier McKinney is exactly what the Giants needed, and another type of player from the draft coming from a great program in Alabama. It reminded me a lot of Minka Fitzpatrick. Minka's better, but Xavier, shows a lot of promise in those same aspects.
Yes.
And when you match him up against, some of the best wide receivers in the country, like Jamar Chase, a lot of those LSU players, and they have to play against the best competition around the country. It's guys like Trevon Diggs and Xavier McKinney that showed up. They did their part, and that's why Alabama is such a great force. But definitely, I think Xavier McKinney has a lot of upside. And he needs to work on a few things, but everything's there to start off with. The roots are all there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. I think I'm going to get another steal.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can't believe we were just talking about him. So, we were debating whether or not these two guys were better than each other. So why not get both? Right?
Okay. Let's see then.
So, how about with Jerry Jeudy you just match him up with CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Because what did I just say? If you complement CeeDee Lamb, then you're going to be fine. He
That's a
can
good
do a
one.
lot of great things. Misdirection, put him in the slot. Oh, he's a great. He could be a number one. He might be my Michael Gallup, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
But you pair him with Jerry Jeudy? Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Yes,
Jerry
sir.
Kinney, get the fuck out of the way because you ain't going to stop him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think for sure CD and CD. We already talked about him. He doesn't really need that much explanation, but he can kind of do it all, and I think he's gonna excel
Kinda.
big time in that slot position in Dallas over there. So it's a good pick.
Looks good.
looks
Working out in
good.
his backyard. Looks pretty good.
Now let's be real here. I haven't picked a receiver yet, but that's gonna
Mhm.
change because this was one of my favorite players coming into the draft, and I wouldn't say he fell because there was obviously really good picks in front of him, but Justin Jefferson from LSU.
Mm.
I fell in love with him, honestly. I loved watching him like in those semifinals and the playoffs and even like some of the big games that he had. Him and Joe just had that connection. They were so good. He's physical, like he's tall. He's kind of a big boy if you look at him a little bit.
Yeah, big boy with great
Yeah.
vertical.
Yeah,
Jesus.
big boy. Yeah. So Justin Jefferson, my first receiver. Yes, sir.
Interesting. I didn't think you would go that way.
No,
You
I love
haven't
Justin
picked
Jefferson.
any of the wide receivers that I had on my board, even if they were like second.
No.
I might throw you off with that third one.
Okay.
Let me think. I think. Man, we haven't talked about quarterback at all. I think we both know where we're going. With
I think
quarterback.
well, it's because like there's literally 4 options, and the fourth one isn't even an option really if you think about it. So
That's true.
let's be real about it.
You're talking about Ben DiNucci, right?
Oh, dude, 100%. Come on, man.
DiNucci.
Can you believe they actually signed him? I didn't think they were gonna sign him.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, but hey, they're keeping with the trend of paying everybody but Dak, so might as well keep it going with DiNucci.
Apparently, man. So oh well.
I mean, I got it right. I mean, my secondary is just gonna look phenomenal at this point.
Is it?
When you finish it off
Mhm.
with another Bama
Oh,
alumni?
really?
Yep. Like got Jerry Jeudy, got Jedrick Wills. I love what Bama's doing. I love what the Cowboys are doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
They got a steal for him in the second round because they couldn't get Winfield, they couldn't get Delpit, they couldn't get anybody but
Yes.
this guy, Trevon Diggs, cornerback out of Alabama, finishes off my secondary.
We already talked to him. I mean, we talked to him. We already talked about him as well. And Trevon Diggs was a pretty big steal in that second round as well for Dallas. So I like the pick. But to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised at you. I didn't think you were gonna look over this guy because we both talked very fondly about him. I'm going cornerback as well. AJ Terrell.
You know what? I would have considered him,
Yeah.
but there was more on the table that was better than AJ Terrell, in my opinion. I think he went a little bit too high in the draft.
Well, you did tell me that. I do remember this. But you do like him though.
I
I do remember. Yes,
Like I
but
said,
no.
you can't go
Fair
wrong
enough.
with like any one of those college playoff teams. Like you can't go wrong with defensive guys out of those programs. You really can't.
100%. You really can't at all.
There's
At
length,
all.
there's versatility, there's like just playmaking ability, and AJ Terrell's one of those guys. So he's
Yeah,
a
for
great
sure.
piece for sure.
For sure.
Because
For sure.
it's really tough in corners too. Corners,
It really
you know,
is.
Once we reached like the point to like when the Cowboys drafted Reggie Robinson, I was like, what the? I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, but at the same time, kind of like, oh man, there wasn't a lot on the table.
Like there was a severe drop off after Trevon
Oh
Diggs.
my god, dude! It got down to like where it was like the Utah secondary guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
I hated like watching film on Utah's secondary, like whether it was Justin Jefferson, any one of their cornerbacks. I was like, I don't see like a pro-ready guy. I don't see a NFL cornerback or safety in any one of these guys.
Yeah.
And when you see like the game against Oregon or any one of the games like later on in the past season, like they're getting blown out. They're getting roughshotted through everybody.
Yeah.
So I was just like, look, there's one guy on that Utah team that I was like, okay, he's definitely like worth it. But the other guys, especially in that secondary, I was like, oh God, no. And that's
Yeah.
kind of how I felt with the cornerback position in this draft.
Yeah. No, it's a fair point. I think we both agreed on that as well.
Yeah.
So
Let me think. I don't have a right tackle,
you don't.
and I want to go a little different here.
Okay.
I think I want to just spice it up a little bit more because I feel like we're just kind of, going through. We're picking the right players, but why
Yeah.
not take some chances, right?
Okay.
And I feel like the Jets took a chance on this guy.
Okay.
I see where they could take the chance, but I don't think it was the right call for them because they need guys now. This is a guy that's going to take some time. But I say fuck it because Bruce
Okay.
Arians, he can make it work. I see an athlete, a freak of nature in this guy that if he
Okay.
learns the position at right tackle, this man can be one of the best tackles in the NFL for sure because he's so light on his feet. He plays like a basketball player at that point, but he manhandles people. When we talk about manhandling people, this guy manhandles people. Like he throws them on the ground and makes them call their mama. Like that's how bad it is.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Right tackle, next one up on my board, from the University of Louisville,
Yep.
Mekhi
Yes, sir.
Becton.
Yes.
You want to watch some
Yeah.
very intriguing film. It's not perfect film to where you're like, that's my guy. You watch
Yeah.
him, and you're like, there's something there.
Yeah, there really is.
He's probably been only playing tackle for about 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
And that's including high school. This guy is just straight like dancing on the field. He knows how to
Yeah.
like dance the salsa with his feet.
He really
Yeah.
does. He's super good.
He's so strong. He's smart. He has his moments where it just lacks the inexperience or lacks of experience. But man, if he works out, if he can learn it, this guy is a sight to see in the next few years.
I think he was the one that they showed a highlight of him on ESPN, right? Where he literally like threw a guy off of him with just one hand, right? It was him,
That
right?
was the first film I ever watched on him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, "Dear
He is
God."
insane. No, I agree. It's a really good pick.
I love him. I love him.
All right, so I have to go back to offense, and I'm picking my second receiver. In my opinion, I think he unfortunately got a lot of got overshadowed because of the whole CD situation. And I feel bad for him because in reality, he's a very good wide receiver. So you know what?
Am I sensing Sun Devil vibes?
No, but
Oh.
let's just say that you might sense those vibes later in the draft. But anyway, Jalen Reagor.
Sexual.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Jalen Reagor. So I like I said, I feel kind of bad because Jalen Reagor got overshadowed with the whole CD deal. The Eagles wanted CD, but we got him, and that's fine. But I think all that overshadowed what he really is. He's a really good wide receiver. He comes out of a college that hasn't really been on top in a while, and I think that's another reason why he got overshadowed. But Jalen Reagor, I really like him. I think he's going to do good in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. The only thing I have with him is that I remember watching film on him, and I feel like he doesn't have a huge explosive step. Like he gets off the line fine, but that ability to just break off of the coverage still needs a little work. But he kind of makes up for it by the little bit of the physicality that he has.
Mhm.
So I like him. He has potential, and I think he got overshadowed, but not by me. He's my second receiver.
You can't help but to compare him to John Dotson.
You can.
Because
you
he's
can.
coming out of TCU, and that was the
Yeah.
last big prospect for them.
Yeah.
There was the concern, or there is the concern for his drops, which is of course the big thing in Philadelphia, where everybody
Yeah.
drops, and that's
Of
why
course.
Carson Wentz can't succeed. I
Yeah.
do like Reagor a lot. Do I think he's a first-round guy? No. And
No, I didn't think so either.
He's kind of second to mine when it comes to wide receivers because, like I was saying, Sun Devil vibes. I think Brandon Ayuk is a much better wide receiver than Jalen. I'm not saying that Reagor is a bad pick. It might complement your offense just because he's not the number one guy.
That's why I selected him
Yeah,
second.
I don't think he'll be the number one guy in Philadelphia, and I hope he's
He won't.
not because that'll put him in a very tough spot. It's just I feel like there's more on the table, like there's more on the board than Jalen.
Yeah.
I mean, like his ability to go up, his vertical, like verticality, whatever the word may be.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I mean, he can go up there and catch a ball.
Oh, yeah,
and
dude.
win
He'll-
50 balls.
He'll snag it from you easily.
Yeah,
If you look at the film, it's pretty remarkable. It's
it
great.
really is. So is it worth a shot? Yes.
Yeah. That's how I see it. I see it as a shot. I see it as a risk, like you were talking about earlier. So, yeah, but I'll take it.
I mean, I should just finish off the wide receivers.
Okay.
And
And I know who you're gonna pick.
you know what? I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
Oh, really?
Because the obvious pick, right? Because I went with the same prototype, the same
You did.
same blueprint last time. You know,
You did.
violent speed, momentum. I'm missing the speed, right?
Yes, you are.
We had the clip with Henry Ruggs III, and he's still on the board. So yes, I would pick him, but just to
Okay.
give it a little difference, just to add some flavor to the Bubba Lutz Sports podcast, I'm going deeper in the draft. I'm still going
Oh.
speed. But I think a lot of these teams overlook this guy, and I think a lot of people don't know who he is.
How deeper? Because now you got me confused.
Deep, real deep.
Oh,
I
okay.
think like 4th or 5th round.
Wow. Okay.
Boise State
All right.
Broncos, so you know what you're getting out of him.
Okay.
So you know the Cowboys love Boise State guys. I love
do,
Boise
yes.
State guys. They're very efficient. You know,
Yeah.
they may not play against the best competition, but they make it work, and they're very productive.
Okay.
Talking about a guy that's not as fast as Henry Ruggs, but
Huh.
you know what? He's got a chip on his shoulder because he's not a high draft pick. But this Bronco to me stands out in film.
Okay.
So for my last receiver that can play the slot, that can play just the go routes, I'm taking Boise State Bronco John Hightower.
Oh, I remember him.
Look,
That's right.
and
I remember you were
honestly,
raving about him.
I think the Eagles got him too.
I think so as well. Yes.
And I thought, alongside Jalen, then you have John, then you have, Marquise Goodwin literally just said, like, fuck it, I'm not playing the season.
Yeah.
But then you have what? I'm blanking on some other Eagles receivers.
Alshon.
Alshon Jeffrey, if he can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Zach Ertz. I think John Hightower is a great complement to this offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to the Eagles. Dude, this man, you watch him on film. He's more of a body catcher, which a lot of people are not a big fan of if you're an analyst. But I'm like, who gives a fuck as long as you catch the ball?
Yeah.
And this man has speed. I mean, dear God. And he can play, punt returns, kick returns, and he does some great things on special teams. But if you just add him as a slot or speed guy, oh, dear God. I mean, he may not be as good as Henry Ruggs, but to me, I think John Hightower is a guy that you got to look out for in the season that may not put up 20 touchdowns, but in those explosive plays for Carson Wentz, dear God, this man's going to beat a lot of secondaries.
Yeah.
I'm a
I
big fan
remember.
of him.
I remember you were raving about him the day after the draft. You were talking to me about him, and yeah, he is going to be a bit of a problem in Philadelphia when we have to play him. But I agree. Okay, fair enough.
He's basically what Deshaun Jackson was in Philadelphia. Now it's just John Hightower. But he has very similar things to Deshaun Jackson of how he's
Yeah.
going to play in that system.
Okay, fair enough.
And Deshaun Jackson
Well-
had a great career. So
Well, since you finished picking your wide receivers, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So now I'm going to go back to the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going to put another big man up front. This guy was regarded as the best defensive tackle in the draft, right next to Javon Kinlaw. But
I know where you're going with this. Okay.
yes, sir. And I think he's a big, beefy boy, and I think he's going to cause some pretty big mayhem in the NFL.
Beefy.
He is beefy, and you know what? Derek Brown.
Yeah.
Derek Brown is our next pick in the Mike Tomlin team. This guy is an absolute stud. Everybody should be scared of him. He is going to be a problem this year. He is phenomenal.
Man, he went to Carolina, I think, right?
Yes, he did.
That's
Yes, he
what
did.
they needed. I
Yeah.
really thought they had a good shot at getting Isaiah Simmons, and a
Yeah.
lot of Panthers fans really wanted him. But Derek Brown is what they need on that defense. They need a presence inside They need some type of run stuffer or, kind of like a disruptor on that defense, and that's what Derek Brown is. We talk about SEC and offensive line, defensive line. These are guys are going against the best in the country, going against the beefiest of boys, and that's one of them. So when you talk about Alabama or Georgia that have to go against these guys, once a season, twice a season, whatever the case may be, it's a guy like Derek Brown that you have to watch out for sure.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Light on his feet, but he's strong, man. He's strong.
He really is.
Mama, look at how strong that man is.
He a strong boy. He a real strong boy.
As long as you don't pick Ross Blacklock from TCU, I'm going to be fine. Because I did not like that guy at all. With that said, I'm going to pick Ross back. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
Okay. You know what? The rest of my picks, I'm fine with.
Okay.
So just to fuck you up,
Oh, God. Wow, that was very aggressive.
we got to take it easy on that cigar, boy. Quarterback. Joe Burrow.
What a
Go
man.
Tigers. Go
Go
Tigers.
Tigers. Do we have to say anything about Joe Burrow? I mean, really? I mean,
He's just a walking fucking. He's swagger.
he is. He really is.
You know what he is? If you look up calm in the dictionary, this should be a picture of Joe Burrow smoking that cigar.
I
That's
think
exactly. You watched the national championship game after, being pressured, having 11 guys on the line for Clemson, and rushing him most of the time. For him to come back and just say, doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm gonna stay calm.
Yeah.
And then to just easily win the national championship. Just like that. Lead an LSU team to a perfect season. Probably one of the best college football teams we've ever seen. And it's because of him. Oh, dear God. Like, there is no other quarterback on this list that even comes close to Joe Burrow. You can say
Agreed.
all you want about Tua Tagovailoa. The man's got a fucking, worried hip. Like, I can't trust that hip. You got Justin Herbert, who's okay. You got Jordan Love, who's like,
who?
like, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then, like, Ben DiNucci. Like, you're going to compare them to Joe Burrow?
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, fuck you, Kevin. Fuck you.
It is what it is. I'll take it. I love you too. But listen, I think I'm gonna mess you up with this one a little bit. Not as much as this one, obviously, because Joe Burrow was arguably going to be the best.
It is going to shock me if you mess up anything the rest of this draft. I have
Really?
players that you've probably never heard of.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Just because I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
I think this one's gonna mess you up because after this guy, there's another player he's good. He is good, but I gotta go with Joe's buddy over there in LSU. Tight end Thaddeus Moss.
God damn! Wait, no! Oh, fuck. I forgot about Thaddeus Moss.
Thaddeus Moss. I honestly cannot believe that he was still there. I thought you were going to take him way before because you have expressed your love for him to me recently. But he was still there, and I had no choice because after him, good luck, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted the duo.
You did want the duo, and when you said Joe Burrow, I was like, okay, I got to do it either now or I'm not going to get him. So.
Okay, now I gotta look up tight ends because I didn't care about the other ones. After a brief intermission,
Yes.
for more research, because Kevin and myself fucked each other up.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We really did.
Let me think. Should I do it? Should I do it?
Hey, man, should you? That's up to you.
There's the simple pick, but I think to get his name out there, even though kind of skeptical about this guy.
Okay.
Fuck it, we're gonna do it. I'm straight nothing but underdogs for the rest of this time.
All right.
All
Let's
underdogs.
see it. Okay.
Kind of a little biased here too.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll make the team,
Yeah.
but watching his film, he's got the fundamentals down. His only weakness is his size.
Okay.
But I got size. I got speed.
Okay.
I got versatility all across that defense. So maybe he can work in my defense. Bruce Arians will do his best, and I will do my best. So with the next pick in the draft, I select defensive end out of Wisconsin, I think.
Okay.
Bradley and I.
Oh,
Yeah.
my boy.
Yeah.
I'm very high on him. I like him a lot.
Not a lot of people know him just
Oh.
because he's not, flying off in the film. He came from Utah. My apologies. Just something about him on film makes you want to love him because he wants to play that edge rusher defensive end position as better than anyone could. And watching his film against Austin Jackson out of USC, having that matchup against one of the best offensive linemen in the country in this last draft, Bradley and I did great things. He showed a lot of potential.
Yeah.
The only thing is that he's a smaller guy for that position. He is strong, but he has a smaller build than most of the other edge rushers compared to, like, let's say Chason or to Chase Young. Like, he may not be that level, but, man, he to me on defense, and what I'm going to do with a lot of my other linebackers is I want a guy that goes until the whistle's blown. I want a guy that goes around the field, that goes for that tackle, and is not just kind of, walking and going with the motions. Like, I want a guy that is physical from the beginning of the play to the end of the play, and that's what Bradley is to me.
I don't think you can pick, the saying having a chip on someone's shoulder is always very true when it comes to a lot of players. But I think this guy has a pretty big chip on his shoulder just because, like, everybody's just nonstop talking about him, that he's so small, that, can he really do it? He's strong, but he's small. And hey, man, when you have that motivation behind you, you could do big things.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So I like to pick. I like to pick a lot. So actually, I just realized that me and you have been lacking on the whole linebacker situation.
Yes.
We both picked one linebacker and we completely went away from it. So that's going to change. And I think you're going to be a little upset when I pick this guy because the first half of last season, he was okay. He was decent. But towards the end stretch and the playoffs, he really showed he was made of. Coming out of LSU, Patrick Queen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's so good.
He's so good. And I remember reading an article when I was making this lineup that like I said, that towards the beginning he kind of didn't really show a lot. He was a very good player, like decent, but that was it. There wasn't anything else about him. But oh man, did he turn it into another gear towards the end of the season and the playoffs, man. He was making plays left and right. He's physical. I'm just happy that he was still on the board, to be honest.
I had him as like my backup pick.
Yeah.
Just because I'm going a little bit different in the linebacker position. But
Yeah.
next to Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma,
Yeah.
he was the next guy up that a lot of prospects or a lot of analysts had him on the prospect list.
Yeah.
It was a drop off, but to me, like once again, I'm kind of skeptical about like Big 12 defensive guys, especially at linebacker.
I can agree with you,
Like,
really.
I had a lot more confidence in Neville Gallimore than I did in Kenneth Murray, and that's just on me. But Patrick Queen is a part of a great defense that was last year at LSU that is filled with first-round talent, and him alongside Isaiah Simmons was just incredible to watch that they were together playing. But Patrick Queen, man, he's a very good player. He can also be a defensive leader. Brings a lot of versatility to that position. So great pick.
Yeah.
Let's give a little love to the linebacker position some more, and I'm gonna go a little different here.
Okay.
I have been a huge fan of this guy since he got drafted, and I did film on him. The Arizona Cardinals had a tremendous draft class.
Yeah, you were really high on their draft class.
High on their draft class, and it's because of this guy. It really is. I know, like, Isaiah Simmons is up there. Eno Benjamin as a
Mhm.
running back is also
Yes.
great. Now they got in the 7th round. What a fucking steal! But this guy, I talked about it just right now. Like a guy that is a chip on his shoulder that will play his heart out. He may not have the size, but he brings grit. He brings a tenacity to that position. And even though he may be small for the position, I think his speed and his IQ, everything above the neck, is there for that position. And I can make it work. I can trust this guy with everything that I have in the playbook because he will go at it 110%. And I want you, anybody that's listening to this, anybody that's watching this, make sure you remember this name. Evan Weaver, linebacker.
Oh, you know what? I do not have anything to say about him because I just don't know.
Plays at a Cal. If you
Mhm.
watch this film, man, dear God, he plays at just a whole different speed than everybody else does. His awareness on the field, he could be a little bit better at recognizing the second wave of a run and getting past those linemen. But his coverage, his blitzing ability is great for a guy out of like that part of the draft, like late 5th, 6th, or 7th.
Okay.
He's small, but damn, man, he has a lot of upside, and I think the Arizona Cardinals got a steal in him alongside Isaiah Simmons. They're building something great in that defense. But Evan Weaver, man, make sure you remember that name. And I mean, I would love to have him on a team just to have that kind of presence, that grit that not a lot of these other guys have coming out of the draft.
Okay. Fair enough. Well,
It's
we'll
worth
keep it in
watching
mind
the
then.
film.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of guys past like the 1st or 2nd round that you watch film and you're like, wow, that actually like really stood out.
Mm.
But Evan Weaver, that was like fun to watch.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna round out my my D line. So I got my 2 defensive tackles. I got Chase Young. I'm gonna put another stud on the other side of that D line as my last defensive end. And this is a guy that when he got drafted, the reaction from all the analysts like Kuiper, Todd McShay and all that, they were surprised that he went kind of that low. But and I think you know the name,
Is
AJ
it-
Spencer.
I was about to say, I was like, Big
Yeah.
Ten vibes?
Yes, Big Ten vibes, dude. AJ Spencer, he's a big boy, and he is one strong man.
Mm-hmm.
Watching those highlights, oof. Listen, he didn't completely pop off against. I think it was against Ohio State, if I remember correctly.
That,
But,
like, Penn State. Like,
Yeah. I don't
it's
remember
tough.
I don't remember which game it was, but he never popped off, but he was always consistent. His stats didn't reflect because he wasn't getting 4 or 5 sacks a game, but you could just see in the film that every single time every single snap, he was up in that quarterback's face.
Mhm.
And I like that. I love it. So AJ Spencer.
Well, when I asked you if I should
welcome.
do it with Bradley and I, it was him or AJ.
Yeah.
'Cause
yeah.
AJ is
I could imagine.
He reminds me a lot of Yetur Gross Matos, like guys
Yeah.
that won't pop off the board, but you're getting a good edge rusher.
You're getting a good player,
Getting
and
a
like I said,
complete guy.
yeah, he's not going to light up the stat board, but he's one of those players that for an absolute fact that you have a stud in him, and also that he's always going to be in the quarterback space and he's going to cause pressure, and that's all you need to do as a defensive end, really. People like Von Miller and like Khalil Mack, like they get the stats, but there's a lot of other like defensive ends in the NFL that they don't light up the stat board, but they're damn good at what they do.
It's their presence. That's the most
Yeah,
important thing.
it's their presence.
For sure.
So yeah. So, all right, sir. We're rounding it out.
Here we are.
We're down to our last 3 picks, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have
4.
5 more, 4 more after this one.
Okay.
Because with the
Same.
4th to last one, if my math is correct,
Mhm.
I still don't have a center. And
Oh, you don't. That's right. I remember I took a center very, very early for this exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you know where I'm going with this.
Do I?
As you can tell, I'm a little biased with the Cowboys. And I've gone with Trevon Diggs.
Right. Yeah.
I've gone with
CD.
CD. I've gone with Neville Gallimore. Okay, maybe I am a little bit too biased. Oh. Anyways,
I have no Cowboys.
call yourself a fan. At center, it's supposedly Travis Frederick 2.0 out
Yeah.
of Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Tyler Biadasz.
Did
if
you
that's
see?
how you pronounce his name.
Who was it? I think like they interviewed him and they asked him that question. He was all like, "Don't call me that. Don't call me that." Like,
I don't want to call him that
Don't
because
call me that.
those are high expectations, and he's
Yeah.
probably not even going to be the starter.
Yeah.
I think that
Joe Looney.
Joe Looney's going to be the starter this upcoming season. I would like to see him grow for a year or two and then take over that position once Joe Looney's like kind of up for retirement or looking for another team.
Yeah.
B-Dash is coming from the same program, and he kind of reminds you of Travis Frederick,
Mhm.
you know, in the way that he plays. He anchors very well. You know,
You can't help but not compare a little bit. You
a
know.
little bit, yeah. I'm not gonna say that he's
Yeah.
gonna be the exact same thing because that's unfair, but I mean, I think that was a really good pick in like the 5th round for the Cowboys. A really solid center that if anyone would have gotten him in the 5th round, I would have been like, that's pretty solid. You look
Yeah.
at his film, it's consistent, it makes sense. There's nothing sexy about this pick. It's a nice center and a nice
Yeah.
way to finish off my offensive line.
Okay. All right. I like it. So I'm gonna. No problem. So I'm gonna finish off my secondary, and this is the one that I had to do a little bit of research on. But however, when I saw his name and I saw his picture, I remembered who he was because when he got selected, the analysts are very high on him because he technically was the best defensive player in Division II football last year. Do you remember the name Kyle Rugger?
Well, Patriots got him, so I love him.
Patriots got him. Kyle Rugger, out of I can't even pronounce his college. To be
Well, I'll
honest
be
with
honest.
you,
You know, when you're trying to find film on a Division II football program,
it's kind of
kind of
hard.
hard.
Kind of hard. Yeah, I mean Kyle Duggar. I'm sorry, not Rugger.
Yeah.
Kyle Duggar. Yeah, out of Lenoir Rhine University, but he's they were pretty high on him. So I'll take that risk on him just because I have no choice. I mean, no, I'll take that risk on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, Kevin, that you talk about a Patriots pick, even though we don't really know the name. We don't really know what he brings to the table, and it's kind of hard to judge. But you just have a trust in Bill Belichick and Robert
You know,
Kraft.
I wonder why we have that trust, but you know, it's whatever. So
Kind of like they know something that we don't know, right?
it's kind of a trend, isn't it?
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah.
you pick Thaddeus Moss. I'm kind of left without a tight end. And then you look at the board, you're like, well, maybe I should just go with just the obvious, right? You go with the team that picked the position, and you may not know the name, but you say they probably know something and you don't. So maybe there is something to that player that
Maybe there is.
there's a lot of upside to.
I'm not going to deny or accept those allegations, but you never know. You never know.
You never know, right?
You
So
never know.
with the next pick, you get my tight end. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna go Cole Kmet.
Oh,
I'm not gonna go that route. Why would I do
Oh,
that? This wouldn't be
why?
an episode if I go with the obvious.
okay.
I go
Let's see
with
it then.
what makes sense. And
Uh-huh.
what makes sense is the first tight end that the Patriots have picked in this year's draft, which is going to be my only tight end in this draft.
Okay.
Out of UCLA, Devin Asiasi. Love the name.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have a response to you. I don't know anything about him, but Patriots do apparently. So
It's the Patriots way.
sure,
I'm gonna go the Patriots way.
why not? Okay, good pick. Fair enough. To round out my defense, you know, it's kind of obvious. Kenneth Murray. I mean, you know, he was top 5 linebackers. We both agree, and I'm a Texas fan, so you know I've seen it. Big 12 defenses are nothing to brag about at all. They really aren't. But you know, Kenneth Murray in general shows a lot of promise. He's a side to side linebacker, and I'm gonna take this risk on him. But yeah.
In that case, then we can mention the names that we're going to leave off the list because I have one more linebacker, and that's going to be my next pick. But
Okay.
guess what?
What?
It's not going to be Zach Bond out of Wisconsin, who to
Oh.
me was one of the most underrated linebackers in the draft, and he went
Okay.
super fucking low in that
Okay.
draft. And he went to the Saints, which is a fucking great pick for them.
Okay.
You also have Notre Dame's Julian Okwara, who
Okay.
is a tremendous athlete.
Hmm.
But like I said, with Evan Weaver, I go with the underdog. I go with someone that's going to give me 110%. And he may not be the perfect prospect, but god damn it, who's perfect? So with the last linebacker and the second to last defensive player that I have on my
Okay.
roster
All right.
out of Colorado, I'm
Okay.
picking Davion Taylor.
You know what? I think you not recently, but I think you did talk to me about him. That you did like him.
I love him. He's a
Yeah.
hard hitter. Oh, he's a hard hitter.
Yeah, big boy.
I think his best attribute, and I've talked about this probably in a analysis episode, was his ability to get the tackle, or to like his ability to tackle is the most important thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's very smart with it. He's very accurate with it, and he doesn't miss most times. And when
Yeah.
he gets on you, oh my God, there's no getting off, or you're gonna get hit.
Yeah.
He has great speed, great agility, great awareness, great IQ. Man, like, he's not gonna jump off, but damn, man, like, I love the pick. He's much like an Evan Weaver, just from a different program. I love Davion Taylor, and that's another name that you should really watch out for.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I am now going to, with these last couple picks for both of us, I'm going to finish off my offensive line. I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson's teammates from LSU, guard Damian Lewis. He is now protecting one of our favorite quarterbacks in the league, Russell Wilson. So, hey, listen, Seahawks must see something in him for them to protect their all-time franchise quarterback.
Well, to be fair, they did take about 5 years before they realized, hey, maybe we should protect Russell Wilson and get Laramie Tunsil.
Better late than never, Lutz. That's what I'm gonna say.
Uh,
Because you know what? At least Russell looks like he can still run and function pretty well. Unlike rip our fallen soldier, Andrew Luck.
Rest in peace.
So, yeah. Who's your second to last pick? Because we should be running this up real quick.
I'm going to finish off with my running back. So,
Once again, you finish 2 picks before me. Huh. Okay. Just like last time. I still have 2 picks left.
well, I mean, I still have my defense tackle.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I was going to finish off with the running back, but I'm going to
Okay.
I'm going to finish the defense.
Okay.
Remember when I talked about last time that there's just something about Samoans on my defensive line
Oh no.
that just gets me every time. I
Really?
feel warm. I feel safe with someone from the Samoan heritage
Okay.
that there's just, for some reason, so damn good at stopping the run.
Shout out to Samoans apparently from Bubble Lust.
Shout out to Samoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Vita Vea. Like, I just love him. And
Like The
somehow, yes, even The Rock, Dwayne, as I like to call him,
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne.
Yes.
Utah just always seems to have him. Utah always seems to really recruit a lot of those guys from that area.
Okay.
And this is another one. One of the only guys on that defense, along with Anai, that I felt was worth it. And he's going to be alongside Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle out of Utah, Lakai Fotu.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team. You went super late in the draft. I think you should have been higher, but you are you something. You something.
You saw him. He's something. Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I would say that my last 2 picks are more entertaining than yours because you got yours out of the way.
Oh, I still got a running back.
Well, I mean, we all know who you're gonna pick. Let's be real.
Shut up.
So, but anyway, so I talked about how Jalen Rager was a little bit of a risk, but I like him. I think he got overshadowed. So I'm gonna counterbalance that risk and put a little something more secure there. We both liked him. we both thought he went a little too late. T. Higgins.
Yeah.
T. Higgins.
I like T. Higgins a lot.
T. Higgins, I think, is a very for sure option. I think the Bengals got a good deal with T. Higgins. Thank God, because Joe Burrow needs all the help he can get, my lord. But yeah, I think T. Higgins is going to be my third receiver. But I might put him as number 2 and maybe leave Jalen on the slot or switch him out every now and then.
You got Justin, you got Rager, and you got
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Man, you got length. That's what you got.
I do got length. I do got
You
length.
Length.
I do got length. So hopefully my QB likes to throw bombs.
Oh, that's what you have left. The nice little
The
foreshadowing.
nice little foreshadowing.
Well, then
Okay.
I'll just make this
Like
easy
that.
for you.
Okay.
My running back is a miniature Ezekiel Elliott.
Mhm.
He's had some wrist problems, but that won't stop him. Because
He won't. It really
Ezekiel
won't.
Elliott had very similar problems in college.
Mhm.
He's fast. He's strong. He can catch out of the backfield. He's a great blocker. Urban Meyer did a phenomenal job of getting this guy.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing over in Columbus.
They really do. They really do.
A really quick shout out to Eno Benjamin because you were the next one up. I really thought that Eno Benjamin was one of my favorite running backs coming out of that draft. He's just phenomenal coming out of Arizona State, and I think he's going to do really good things in Arizona. But I can't go wrong with Buckeye.
You can't.
The Ohio State University's own J.K. Dobbins, the steal of the second round from this previous draft, and he is now my running back.
All I'm gonna say about J.K. Dobbins, because we're kind of extending it a little too much, but Los Angeles Rams, really,
Cam Akers is good.
really,
He's a great blocker,
but really,
just not a huge fan of the pick when there was so much more to choose from that would fit more to their style of play. And J.K.
Yeah.
Dobbins would have fit that.
yeah.
And props to fucking Baltimore
Mhm.
for not only reassuring Lamar Jackson of his weapons, but also give Mark Ingram a nice little breather
Yeah.
with another guy that's very similar to what he does. Strong but fast.
Yep.
He could have a very Mark Ingram type of career with
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins.
He really can.
And he's going to the best running game team in the NFL after really just exploding in college with his running game in Ohio State.
So, like I said, Los Angeles, really.
Mm-mm.
Also to a certain extent, Kansas City, really.
Mm.
Really?
I want to see what Allaire does.
I
anything
wanna
is an
see as well.
improvement. I like Damian Williams, but I he's just not as talented as these guys coming in. And Allaire was really fun to watch in college.
He was, and that's why I'm saying that it's a little bit less than Cam Akers, but
Yes.
still, really. Come on.
I would
Come on.
say J.K.
Come on.
Well, they had the option of DeAndre Swift too, so that's another come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But oh well. And all right, to round out the rookie draft class for both picks,
Benvenucci.
quarterback Ben. Yeah, right. Psych.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's really no contention. Like I said, the fourth best quarterback in the draft.
Fourth best. We've only picked one quarterback. He's the fourth best. I'm gonna take him.
Whatever. We both agree that Justin Herbert is a very 50-50 pick. He's good.
Average.
He's
gonna be
good.
average.
Yeah, he's good. But I mean, we'll see. We both agree on his health problems, but you can't deny the talent. Tua Tagovailoa. Welcome to the team. I hope you like your receivers because I do.
Hope you have a lot of health insurance, sir.
I think my line could protect Tua.
Mike
Very
Tomlin's
well.
got the plug.
He's got the plug. He does. If Mike Tomlin has kept Big Ben Roethlisberger
Yeah, that's different though.
Somewhat-
That's different. That's
somewhat-
way different.
somewhat healthy, somehow healthy for this long, maybe he can work some magic with Tua.
No, dude. No.
Maybe.
Big Ben
You don't think
is
so?
built
I mean,
different.
well, yes, I know that, but I mean,
that's his spiel. He is built to last because of his like big frame, his big arm. Like he can take a hit. How
for
none
sure.
of those things are Tua Tagovailoa.
But it's Mike Tomlin, and I love Mike Tomlin, so it's all right.
Yeah, but Tua.
Who do you
this-
want me to pick, Luz? You want me to pick Justin Herbert? Really?
No, you can go Jordan Love.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Bubba Bunch, this was episode 150.
Nah, that's not your outro. That's not your outro.
That's not my outro. Hey, that was pretty good, though. Not gonna lie. I kinda-
Once again, we're gonna put up the list at the very end of the episode, and
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, check the Twitter account. I'll put pictures up of both of our rosters, and you decide which one is better if we went head to head, or just in general which one is better and which one you like more. Put it in the comments down below. Make sure to like this video on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're on 83 subscribers, going on 100. We're
Almost
inching
there, baby.
closer and closer to that as we get more NBA coverage, as we get more UFC coverage, more live streams coming on the way. But for now, this has been episode 150. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us on that new
Thank you,
webcam.
Luz. Yes, thank you very
Soon
much.
to be podcaster, probably the next
Yes.
month, which
Hopefully,
is very nice
yes.
to see. But you will be back sooner rather than later
Yes.
with another episode on the NFL. Let's see how many COVID cases happen and who opts out of the contract. So until then, we'll see you next time on another episode of the Bubba Blood Sports Podcast. Bubba Bunch, I love you. I want to kiss you. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Bubba Blood Sports Podcast.
Yeah, hold on. Tell me who's your top 5 quarterbacks right now, dead or alive, huh? And how much do you care about a ring if the best player got carried by the team? Now, would you lose if it been a better draft pick? And do you cuss when your team get their ass kicked? Now, do you keep it classy or you keep it ratchet? For the man with the magic. Now, who is he? It's the boy, Bubba. Let's coming through. Hella clutch, flawless, can't be touched. It's a boy, Bubba, yeah, I need that hot take. I need the truth and everything that is not fake. So tell me who's the GOAT, I'll tell you who's not great.